Everybody, it's Sinvicta. It's time for another Eden Run here, the Binding of Isaac Victor Repentance Plus series. Happy Wednesday, Mosh Pit, and also happy new like streak tracker and counter here on the channel. We have lowered the like streak down to just 2,500 now, down from 3K, which is what it's been for the last couple years. And also, we have a new goal to get the eye tracker episode or episodes, depending on what the comment section decides on. For those of you who didn't know, I've done an eye tracker episode it was a while ago. I don't want to say many years ago because it may have been last year, but it was a while ago. And it was very, very popular. You get to see what my eyes are looking at all times while on the screen playing Isaac, and it's cool. It's good for analysis. It's good for me as well because I get to see if I'm looking at the right spot or not on the replays. And yeah, it's just a good time. So that's right, only 2,500 now instead of 3K. So it's a little bit of a downgrade, but I think that we need something like that to give the jump start that we need to get the like streaks back up. And again, we're going to be keeping a new count on that one. The last one ended at 493. Here's your meme of the day / amazing artwork of the day, submitted here on the Sinvicta subreddit by Spiders. I hope I said that correctly. Title throw was Sinvicta spinning the goblin's jaw, and then in the thread they said this is the type of stuff you would see if Isaac was in 4K. Rock on, Mosh Pit, with a heavy metal salute. Then P.S. I heavily used a random manga image as a reference, but didn't realize what it was until I was done. I am a fake fan, and I think they're talking about being a fake manga fan, not a fake Sinvicta fan, or maybe I'm not sure. But I love the artwork, and yes, indeed, that looks sick. I would love to see that colorized. Although with that type of style, though, with like the lines and everything, it's hard to color those. So it looks cool. Oh boy. D-Day is gonna be 4 Quebec Sierra 7-8 November Papa Echo. We've got Abel. And I think it's a Joe Dirt haircut. I don't even know anymore. This is just like this is the typical haircut you will see on like a Friday night at this point. The dirty mullets they're back. So as you already noticed at the very beginning of this room, I instinctively dodged away from one of those shots from Abel, and that is precisely the reason why I absolutely hate this item. It's going to be an item that's never going to be good the way that it is, and that is precisely the problem. Abel does not directly shoot at Isaac, but he does shoot at Isaac second-handedly because he shoots in the opposite direction that Isaac is shooting, basically. So if you play this game long enough, it will make you instinctively dodge away from the shot, and you may unknowingly dodge into an oncoming shot that actually is a hostile shot. So the game, again, does not really do a great job at all of differentiating between what is a friendly shot and what is not. And that's the biggest problem that I've always had with Abel, and it's going to continue like that. Yeah, this is a great shop here. Unfortunately, we don't have enough money for either one of these. I would actually go with options over the treasure map, because with this start here, 2.45 tiers is not the worst, but the shot speed is absolutely horrific. 0.78 is god-awful. Our damage is okay, our movement speed's not great, and our range is terrible. We have another bad range start here. So I would love to be able to get options so we can get the extra chance of getting the type of boss item that we want, and this is one of the few times why I will prioritize that over something like treasure map. So yeah. And our starting item, of course, is going to be, our starting active item anyway, is going to be Brown Nugget, which is actually, honestly, not a terrible item. I don't hate the item anymore. For a long time, I thought it was worthless, but then it got a buff for the cooldown, and I think, didn't even see that shot, and I think that's basically what did it for me. And obviously, Brown Nugget is an amazing item in Greed. It's one of those items where it just gets better the longer you are in a fight, and this is no different here. Just seeing Brown Nugget kind of keep Gemini at bay here, or Steven, I should say, at bay. Though I am still kind of mad at that little pot shot they took through Big Steven. But we might as well take Little Steven here. There's nothing to be gained from going into the curse room. It's gonna bring us down to 1.5 soul hearts, and that's, I mean, it's not like we're gonna get money in there. The only thing we can hope for is maybe getting bombs, but we've already bombed the donation machine, and I'm just gonna pay 5 cents. We're not going to be able to get options, so there's just no other way for us to earn money. And we get Guppy's Eye, which is fine. So we're gonna lose both of these. I might as well just grab the tarot card. It's gonna be a sun card, which is fine. So at least we'll have some type of mapping, but it's a big disappointment that we're not able to come away with more options. And yep, donation machines. We've got a sun card here, and I'm just going to go ahead and use it right now. There is... Got plenty of keys, which is the only bright spot we've got going on for us right now. I'm hoping that we get a good shot speed and tiers upgrade. So what we're really looking for would be something to the effect of the screw, or Mr. Dolly would be fine with the range upgrade. Cat of Nine Tails would be a damage and shot speed upgrade, which is fine as well. We get a world card, so we're gonna have some type of mapping, no matter what. Next floor too. But with us having low Steven, that does at least help our shot efficiency a little bit more, and also our DPS. So this, this is the problem starting with Abel. Screw it, whatever. I really hate conjoined, especially in a low damage situation here. It does also lower our tears rate, which was already bad enough. But Robo Baby is also, again, going to lean into the concept of us having more DPS for more followers. And there's just a bunch of random crap flying everywhere on the screen, which is annoying, but it's at least more damage that we can do. But Abel is the real problem, here that we have to contend with him shooting back at Isaac. And especially now with conjoined and all the other tiers that are flying around everywhere, it's going to be very difficult to keep track of where the enemy tiers are. So just gonna have to tough our way through it, and just hope. Yeah, you saw me right there just freak out a little bit because I saw that shot coming at me, and that was from Abel. And before you say, well, just look for the red tiers. Not all enemy tiers, not all enemy projectiles are red. Just you got to keep that in mind. I know it's fun to try to point out when I'm wrong, and sometimes you're right. Most of the time you're not. But it does. There is a reason why it is dangerous. And Abel has been the subject of years and years of discussion trying to fix the item. And my suggestion was, if Abel is going to be shooting directly at Isaac, as in shooting in the opposite direction, moving the opposite direction at all times, then I think that Abel should shoot automatically and also inherit the Isaac's tier effects. Kind of like an Incubus, but an automatic Incubus that just happens to share Isaac's stats. I think that is a good I think that's a good compromise to what is widely considered to be one of the worst items in the game. Oh my god. Actually, you need to be careful with that. I don't know which one of you has the shot speed to project a bomb that fast, but I'm hoping we get Brimstone here, or some kind of tier effect that is going to allow us to just not have to worry about conjoin that much. And it's Death's List, so that's going to be practically impossible for us to complete, but we're going to try anyway. Yeah, we've lowered the like streak goal down, and it's something that I didn't want to do for the longest time. I've resisted trying to do that because I don't want to get in this habit of scaling down for engagement and everything. But the fact of the matter is, we haven't hit a like streak goal. The only videos right now that are getting anything close to 3,000 likes or more are the mega huge new episodes. And the fact of the matter is, we have to be real. Thank you, game. We have to be realistic about this, is that we're not going to have a new popular, new mega episode every single episode without modding or giving ourselves items or stuff like that. And I've stated many times that I refuse to do anything like that just to placate to the YouTube algorithm. You know, we had this discussion last week. I'm not going to retread it again. And I don't like the idea of doing that, but I also think that we need to be realistic about it and put better goals in so we get those higher turnover rates on like streak, and then the engagement will of course come back up. So, but again, it just comes down to you all. You all are the ones who make this channel. You are the ones who allow me to do this for a job, and if something isn't working, then it's my job to figure out what's working and what's not, and you know, and sort of adjust and adapt, and that's exactly what this is. So 2,500 should definitely easily be doable, and obviously I'll be keeping watch, and we are going to have the doubles. I know it said 6,000, but I am going to lower that to 5,000 for the doubles, and we'll make sure we get double rewards, that sort of stuff. And I think that the eye tracker episode is something that a lot of people have been waiting for. It was one of the most popular one-offs that we've done on the channel, so I'm totally happy with doing it again. Yeah, see, there's so many projectiles on the screen. It's hard to keep track of everything. And then on top of that, you throw in Brown Nugget, and you've got just a smorgasbord of tears. Okay, Old Hushy, that's the second time you've ruined Death's List here. Need you to lock in, son. I don't think it's there. Oh, it is there. Normally, you don't see the super secret room that far away from the boss room, but since the item room spawns so far away, yeah. Now, we are going to get King Baby, which is interesting, because King Baby gives everyone homing. So King Baby could be a big get for us here. Now, I don't know if King Baby also extends to Brown Nugget shots. I don't think he does. Could be wrong, man. We're just getting all the ragtag followers today, I guess. I'd definitely love to get an HP upgrade here. Excuse me. Had a hiccup and a cough at the same time. Okay, well, game is not wanting to spawn any enemies for us, but we're about to find out. We did get a soul heart there from Death's List, which I appreciate, but I would much rather have stats. Yeah, so notice how King Baby is directing Robo Baby to fire directly at Famine here. You're seeing that I can just sit here and do this, and Robo Baby will just home in on everything. It kind of like commands everyone to act like Jello in that sense. But unfortunately, we're going to get just an orbital here, no Devil Deal or whatever, and we're really feeling the sting now of not being able to get options on that first floor, because this is precisely the scenario I wanted to avoid, is having to rely on familiars as our primary source of DPS. But the fact of the matter is we're just going to have to do that. And being good at this game means that you are adaptive in any situation. And you know, that's why I love playing Eden. That's one of the top questions I get is, why do you play Eden all the time? Like, there's literally over a dozen other characters you could be playing. Why do you insist on just playing Eden? Because I've always been and still am in the belief that Eden gives you the best pure challenge in Isaac. You don't know what your stats are. You don't know what your items are. You have to know everything about everything in order to adapt effectively as an Eden player. So that means learning how to compensate for bad movement speed, learning how to compensate for terrible tiers, learning how to compensate for bad items or good items, and planning out accordingly. I mean, there's a lot that goes into Eden that is totally fresh and new every single time we play. And I think that that's a lot of the appeal for people watching the series over the decade now, and continuing to come back, because it is fresh and new every single time, no matter what. You know, these runs are played exactly as you see them, and you know, I don't want to. It'd be great if we had new episodes every single day, or at least every single week. But then the magic would kind of be gone as well for those real powerhouse runs. You know, those broken runs. We don't see them all that often. So, you know, it's about being adaptive and learning how to deal with the crap that the game gives you on a regular basis. And this game gives me a lot. There's plenty of crap coming out. So, you know, and yeah, there's more difficult characters like Tainted Lost and Tainted Jacob and all those other crappy characters. But those are, to me, those are gimmick characters. They always start with the same stats. They always start with the same passive. They always start with the same active item, right? There's nothing random about it. You can be good at it as a Tainted Lost player. You can be very good at the character because you get used to the limitations and the strengths of the character. I don't want to get used to the limitations and strengths of the character. I want to be totally dependent on skill and also what the game gives us, and then my ability to adapt accordingly. I think that's what makes these interesting. I think that's what makes Eden interesting. Dealing with some mega clown physics here. Oh, there's a grub there apparently. This is just the product of us having so many tiers going everywhere. We finally get some type of stat upgrade, and yeah. I am going to take, we need to go deeper just because at this point we need to get items. And I don't care what they are. Brown Nugget, I like Brown Nugget, but it's not what we need here. Bozo gives us a very, very minimal damage upgrade. Slip Rib's not going to cut it for me. Tammy's Head's not going to cut it for us. I mean, Sinus Infection's not terrible. We have so many tiers that Isaac's firing out right now. They're probably going to have a pretty high efficiency rate, but man, we need to get some actual stats here. So yeah, I think lowering the like streak goal is the best thing for the channel right now. It does, I will admit to a certain degree that it does get a little demotivating to see the likes kind of altering a little bit, especially when there's like streak goals that I do think that everyone would enjoy, but the fact of the matter is that we gotta I have to do a better job at making things appeal, and if that means you know, just switching out the like streak goals and encouraging without overdoing it, encouraging engagement, that sort of stuff, you know, I think that's just part of the job, and something that I've always been willing to do, and I've always been pretty good at doing my own thing and not following trends on YouTube, and this is going to be no exception to that. Get the world. Why did depression just proc up there? We're going to get a charge on the shovel. I'm going to use it right on top of the skull. You use the shovel on top of any art on the ground, you're guaranteed to get a crawl space, and so far that gambit has not paid off at all. Guppy's Eye, however, that was a great curse room to go into. But definitely taking bets on how many Guppy items we end up with at the end of this run. And getting our movement speed and damage is just awful now at this point. It's incredible that we've gotten this far this quickly. Although having two maps in a row is also helpful in the early game. But we've got to get some more. We have to get anything here right now in terms of stats. We can't even stop at Leaper that's right next to us. One bomb for a bomb. Might as well check for the super secret room and also get this bomb. There. And spooky bombs are actually going to be pretty nice because this gives us a little bit of extra offense that we can use to we can use against bosses, which we are going to need. Let's fight the boss first here, and then I will begrudgingly go back and backtrack for the shop. I say begrudgingly because we absolutely just need to do that. Head of the Keeper has been doing a pretty good job at keeping us afloat for the economy. Also, another reason why I don't mind going back in this spot, if we're still trying to make boss rush, which is something we need at this point, is because we have the shovel. Because we can just create a crawl, or not a crawl space, but just a way down. And boy howdy, these devil deals have been quite awful. So we can just use the shovel inside the shop and make our way to the next floor without having to backtrack all the way to the boss room. But you're also seeing, again, another reason why we're taking a lot of damage here, on top of the visual doo-doo, is the fact that our shot speed is horrible. 0.62 is god-awful. It does not get any worse than that. And the longer it takes our shots to get to where they need to go, the worse it's going to get for us, because we don't have the mobility to avoid damage. We don't have any defenses to mitigate it other than an orbital, which is basically useless. And we don't have the DPS to sort of keep us alive up to the point of being able to utilize our shot efficiency, our lack thereof of shot efficiency. We need our shots to be hitting hard, and we need them to be hitting often. I cannot believe this thing's still alive. So now, of course, people are going to bring up, well, you know, when do pills come into play? Which is, the answer is never. Not without PhD, not without Virgo, and we are just getting absolutely wrecked by this horrific map that we are on. I mean, we had to cross 2 planets to get over here at this point. The size of this map may have just ruined our chance of getting boss rush, and that's real annoying. The taking bad devil deal items here is just off the table. We just absolutely cannot do that. And if we don't get boss rush here, I'm praying for a reroll at this point. I will absolutely reroll this run immediately without question, but get a 4 room, which is going to give us a global D6. The boss is most likely not up here. Getting lucky with these death lists hits, but unfortunately we're not getting any benefit stats-wise. This is just not a room that we can complete in a timely manner. Oh, maybe. Robo Baby and King Baby doing the majority of the heavy lifting here for us for our damage. A great block by Old Hushy there. We were about to get tagged by that cross shot. Somehow we made it to the boss. I cannot believe that we went straight to Mom. I mean, that is a direct line there, other than checking out what that dice room was. So we are going to be able to possibly get boss rush, but this is not a done deal at all. Maybe fading Demon Baby wasn't the correct choice there in that devil deal. That's about the only questionable decision I think I've had so far on the itemization for this run, because he would be vastly more effective with King Baby present, but I still don't think that it's worth the HP right now. We don't have the damage to cover our HP, and we're not getting any help stats-wise. That's how fast it can go right there. Yep. The devil deal. This has to be a good boss rush. There's Forever Alone, Scatter Bombs, the Book of Shadows, and Bob's Brain. Bob's Curse, sorry. And no, there's no going back and using the 4 room to re-roll the boss rush, because there's no way we'd be able to make it back there in time. I'll still also get a look at the item room. I'm gonna try to complete this one just because this is a single enemy death list room, and we got a 0.5 tiers upgrade. Death list coming through with a big-time clutch play there. So remember, we have that 4 room that I'm probably going to forget about, but I'm hoping not. Oh, you're still alive. I thought you were dead over there. I thought that was Abel floating towards me. So hopefully I don't forget about this 4 room, and we get a good reroll on knockout drops. Knockout drops is not going to happen. that item is forever done for me. Even though a lot of people were saying it wasn't knockout drops, it was Worm Buddy. It's a combination of both that were making that problem for us in that episode where bosses can teleport now. So we take Mysterious Liquid here. It's a good item. We have so many shots flying around everywhere. It's going to at least use a very good amount of the area in the room to get some creep going. And we're going to get one singular reroll in the secret room if we can find the secret room. Unless we get Death Certificate or something amazing here. We have plenty of bombs, so we should definitely find it. It only took me one. Okay, hoping he drops Steam Sale so we can get a reroll here with the D6 room. And he didn't. And it's Keeper's Box. Yep. 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 We should go into the curse room just in case. But man, I hate spending a soul heart here. But at this point we're getting desperate in terms of stats. If this is going to be a tier effect run, then I want to have good tier effects. If we're not going to get the stats there, then something's gotta happen for us. We get Dark Prince's Crown, which is actually fine. A great DPS increase for us, at least for our tiers anyway, but it doesn't give us any damage. I still dislike greatly losing that soul heart, and we're not gonna get another item to be able to piggyback off of that. So we go back and get our shovel. Then to save time, I'm going to use the shovel and create another crawl space much closer to the dice room, just so we can check it instead of having to walk all the way back there for just the same result. I just need something on the ground. We'll do. Oh wait, we don't have a full charge. It's only me. Well, in that case, we'll just walk over here. Dark Prince's Crown is our first significant pseudo stat up. I say pseudo because obviously it's temporary, and apparently the 4 room does not affect the crawl space. That's news to me. Don't know if that's intended or not. So we only get 2 item pedestals to roll through now. I could have left the shovel in there, but I think the shovel is going to be it's going to be very useful here, and we're going to get Pyro, which is going to give us 99 bombs. So we are going to have to come up with some unorthodox ways to get this one done. And, you know, and again, speaking of having to be a resourceful and adaptive Eden player, this is precisely what I'm talking about here. We need to lock in and sharpen up, because this can quickly get away from us here. Could go in the curse room, but again, that's going to be 2 soul hearts that we just cannot afford to lose right now. Not with this DPS. You're seeing Mysterious Liquid do some work there. We did get a movement speed upgrade thanks to Death's List. Starting to wake up a little bit now. And if we do hit the like streak goal of 7 in a row for the eye tracker episode, then please share with me some feedback if you'd like to see multiple episodes or not, or maybe wait for the first episode to air and then then decide from there. Some people found the eye tracker a little too distracting, which I get. I mean, you see this floating bubble that essentially just kind of moves around the screen, but it's pretty accurate, and I do think that it offers a good insight into how I play the game, but it's also something that I think people can benefit from. Get a get out of jail free card here, which is going to be just flat out better than the Lover's card because we only have 1 HP anyway. I have not used the shovel yet or the crawl space. The beam that we're getting out of Abel is actually surprisingly effective here from the extension cord. Getting some solid damage out of that, which is just, it's just sad to even say, but hey, we got to work with what we got to work with here. I think this counts as art, maybe. Yeah. There's a black market, but I'm not super thrilled about it. Diplopia. I am going to take... Oh, no. No, 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 no. Diplopia's here. We could... Theoretically, we could get Guppy. This also activates Polar Invincibility, but it kills our... The problem is that it kills Dark Prince's Crown, which is the reason why I'm not hugely high on Dark Prince's Crown, because it is one of those conditional stat upgrades that you get that can be easily taken away from you by simply just trying to make your run better. So it's not ideal here. And with only 3 HP going up against Matriarch, we need to get... We need our... What we need is our Devil Deals to not be absolute garbage like they've been this entire run. We need something here to help us get through this one. Or we can just not get a Devil Deal. That's, you know, that's of course always fine too, I guess. We have to stick with Diplopia. Yes. Okay. I'm very, very, very highly debating on using Diplopia for these 2 soul hearts. I am very seriously considering doing that. And this is the only time I'm going to get a chance to do this, because if I leave here, I think if I leave here and the door closes... No, 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 it won't close. It should stay open if we complete the room. I'm going to try to have my cake and eat it too here. I think it stays open. Okay, yeah. So when we complete it, it should stay open. This gives me my option to say, okay, our Devil Deal is garbage. Let's go back and get the... Either way, we're using Diplopia on this floor. We cannot afford to wait to the chest. We just double confirm that that stays open. Not if it didn't, then I guess we'll know, but yeah. So that doubles our HP in there, and I think that is absolutely worth the use of Diplopia if we're going to get a garbage Devil Deal or a Krampus fight or something like that. The only way that I would use Diplopia at this point on a Devil Deal is if it had a ton of items in there and it allowed us to... That's a funny game. And it allowed us to get Guppy. But now, with that cheap shot from the tentacle, which I don't know how that had the range, and also the worst direction possible, we are 99% going to use it on those 2 soul hearts from Squeezy at this point. And it looks like we could have actually gotten out of there for free. Now it's to the point now where we have to use Diplopia on the soul hearts because we're about to die. And this is what I was talking about. It's so important for you to know your limitations and know where your problems are happening. You know, a lot of people misconstrue that as me complaining about stuff. You have to keep your mind focused. You have to know exactly what you're facing here. And the fact of the matter is that we have gotten 0 significant stat upgrade items in this run outside of Dark Prince's Crown, which is again temporary. So that's another big double soul heart there. I mean, we have to take one of these. Let's go take, just so we don't have to backtrack, because obviously we're going in the only right direction we can. I'm going to take these 2 just so we stave off death for now. And we will use Diplopia in here. Obviously, the money doesn't matter, but might as well. You never know. Might find a judgment or something. Wow, I can't believe Death's List almost made it, and then, of course, that happens. Get another movement speed, much needed, but at the cost of a soul heart. And again, very quickly, that advantage that we had is no longer. So Diplopia becomes pretty much the biggest case here in this run. It's gonna let King Baby and the extension cord do its work. Need a fire here. And this map just keeps on going. This is a non-XL floor, by the way. This map is gigantic. And, you know, I hate to say it, but this is the product of getting no damage upgrades. No shot speed upgrades, and, you know, just trying to work with whatever the game gives us. And this is these scenarios, these hits that we're taking, the loss of HP, all that stuff is the direct result of us getting no significant damage upgrades at all, or tiers upgrades or anything like that. Shot speed obviously is also the biggest concern, other than our HP, of course. So I'm glad that we end up taking Sinus Infection. And we are getting good damage out of our familiars, like we are. It's just not enough. So here's the end all, and yep, that's exactly what I was expecting. That is exactly what I was expecting here. We had to wait all the way till floor 8 to get something, and then the game does that. So you just, you know, I'm not surprised. That's why I don't even sound mad. It's because I just expected that to happen. The game took every opportunity that it was going to get to screw us here, and that's exactly what happened for our last and only 100% Devil Deal. So we are forced to use Diplopia. We should try to find the super secret room. Okay. This does give us a chance of at least getting either a good card here with the Hierophant card, which I will take immediately. And if we can get the Crystal Ball, that would be amazing. Or even just get us back to a full rack of hearts, and we still stand a chance. I would take an Emperor card, obviously. A Moon card and a Moon card. Crack Crown. I feel like we have to take Crack Crown here. Although it doesn't give us that much of a stat upgrade. And honestly, Extension Cord was doing work for us, especially with Hushy and Abel flying around everywhere. So I'm actually going to not... We haven't... The problem is that we haven't had any significant tier... We have not had any significant stat ups. But Crack Crown doesn't really have anything to work with. Now, what I will say is the dice bag, however, gives me hope that we can re-roll this run and get something significant out of here. Because that is something that I would be willing to trade the dice bag, or the extension cord for. If we can get bailed out here with a different build altogether, I would be okay with that. But again, the pool of items that we have to re-roll through is not great. We only have one Devil Deal item. We got that from a curse room. Technically two, no, because I forgot about Death's List. Yeah, so we have Death's List and Guppy's Eye and I guess Dark Prince's Crown. So, if we re-roll, we have to hope we get lucky. Starting off with the D-Twizzle. Not going to be good enough. No rocks in there. I do love me the D12 though, obviously. So here's the bravery test now. Do we D100 in here? This is going to shuffle our stats and everything. All for a reroll. And we don't have stats to shuffle. So I'm not going to use the D100. I think the D4 is the only way that we can go here. Another Hierophant card. I did not mean to re-roll, but we did. We have Brimstone, Ludovico, Quad Shot, Transcendence. We have decent damage, thankfully, and our shot speed did get a boost thanks to Ludovico. I did not mean to D100 there, but Brimstone Ludovico completely changes this run to the point where I'm just going to drop the dice bag because I don't want to accidentally re-roll again. So what happened there was, again, it's a product of our own complaining. For the longest time, I wish that the game would not switch your passive active item automatically when you pick up stuff. But then I got so used to it happening now, I just do it automatically with the assumption that I'm going to that it's going to switch to the card that I pick up. And yeah, so get a 1 damage upgrade here thanks to us having Pentagram and Brimstone with Black Feather. A Ludovico Brimstone really kind of clutching it up there. That was probably the best accidental reroll that we've had in a while, as that totally changed this run. Again, despite us not having incredible stats here, we're still getting better stats than what we had. So it was absolutely worth it, and we have to credit that largely in part to the decision to keep the dice bag. We got bailed out by an accidental D100 reroll, and I'll take it. Do I think we would have been fine on this run? I don't know for sure, honestly. You saw how fast that we were losing our HP, and our damage just was unable to keep up with what we needed out of a killing power build. So I don't know for sure. We may have been okay, but there's no way to really know for sure. This is definitely one of those times where I wish the eye tracker was active, because I would have absolutely loved to have seen where my eyes went. Now, I don't know what happens with my reflection and Ludovico. We're going to find out. Gives us a big damage and a whole lot of shot speed. Oh my gosh. That's just a straight up huge boost for Ludovico. My goodness. Golly gee. That Soul Heart back right here. Now we just have a nice relaxed run. Could have sat here and talked about how the Bears blew another lead and Bears it up. How I needed Caleb Williams to really do well because I have a lot of his rookie autos and rookie cards that I need to sell. But instead, we were going super strategy level here, those are the type of episodes that people like as well. I mean, I'm forced to talk more exclusively about the game, the gameplay and strats and my thinking and logic than ranting about anime or something like that. So we get a nice variety of commentary here with these runs, and this one was definitely no exception. Your Ludovico got like stuck there. It's like it couldn't figure out which way to go. We don't even have homing. But again, everyone, I'm taking your feedback on the new like streak goal and the dropped amount, and hopefully that gets some momentum built, and it's something that people want to look forward to doing another eye tracker episode. It's been a while since we've done one, and I'd love to see it once again. And it's just one of those things. You gotta. I think the word of the day is being adaptive and being able to recognize when stuff has to change a little bit, and it's important for growth. Station 2 is great here. I was correct that we only saw, even after a reroll, we only saw one other additional Guppy item after taking Guppy's eye on the first floor. So, but we are going to get the dub. I will take it. And no, I'm not saying dove as in the bird. I'm saying dub as in D-U-B, because some of the Brits out there were having issues wondering why I kept saying we got the dove as in the bird. And that's British people for you. They're a wacky, goofy bunch. I'm definitely saying dub as in the W, as in the win. There you go. That's a little American slang history there for you Brits out there. Thank you for watching, everyone. Remember, only 2,500 likes now needed to start up the like streak goal for the Eye Tracker Challenge. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for those of you who've been beta testing the app as well. An update is coming very soon with balance changes. And thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. And as always, I'll see you all next time. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. Like, thanks to patrons of mine like Yami, Sampudu, Langwart, and Vernon James Ely. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of an Isaac episode, check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find over at patreon.com/Sinvicta.